Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hello and welcome once again to another Quick Shot Reviews. A Quick Shot Review, rather, on Quick Shot Reviews for Cheap Shot Entertainment. Been to see another new release, another Marvel film in the never-ending Marvel universe that is the cinemas. Thank you, Disney. This one is Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And yeah, it's there, isn't it? No doubt most people are going to go and see this, so this is just my thoughts on that particular film. But in the meantime, please click like and subscribe to the channel and give us your thoughts on the film. A lot of people have differing opinions on this one. I will get to my thoughts in the main part of the video. So, Wakanda Forever is a 2022 release. PG-13, it comes in at an epic 2 hours and 41 minutes. And it is directed by Ryan Coogler, who also wrote the screenplay. Now, one of the things that I can say about this film is that it goes on for way too long. A lot of people did like Black Panther, and that is absolutely fine. I didn't have any particular problems with Black Panther, but I also didn't find it entertaining either. I don't know completely what it was, but to me, 3 hours for a film that doesn't really go anywhere is not great. I mean, this suffers from the same thing, and it was always going to be... There's always going to be riding the coattails of the original because of what happened not long after the film had finished shooting, with the main actor dying suddenly and sadly. So it's at this point I just want to say, Chadwick Boseman, R.I.P. You were sorely missed in this film. Really, really was. It was nice. It was nice that they put some of his images in there to get the story going, and it was silent. There was no music at the start with the Marvel logo and all that kind of stuff. That was nice, and it was a good tribute. So in this one, the people of Wakanda fight to protect their home from intervening world powers as they mourn the death of King Charlotte. Queen Ramonda, Shuri Mbaku Okoye, and the Dora Milaje fight to protect the Kingdom of Wakanda from intervening world powers in the wake of King Charlotte's death. As the Wakandans strive to embrace their next chapter, the heroes must band together with the help of War Dog Nakia and Everett Ross and forge a new path for their nation. Doesn't give you a lot there to go on as to what the film is actually about, but there is some cool visuals in this one. The acting again is very solid, as you'd expect, but I do find it difficult in this day and age, in 2022, that when films use CGI, that it just doesn't look great. I mean, we were talking like Spider-Man 2002. When you go back and look at that, it's not great. But for 2002, it was fantastic. It's 2022 now. We're 20 years in the future, and yet it doesn't look great. Letitia Wright as Shuri is really good in this film, carries it for the most part. Lupita Nyong'o as Nakia is also very good. And going down, Tenoch Huerta plays Namor, who is really good as well. Martin Freeman's in there, and Angela Bassett plays Ramonda really, really well. And yeah, it does what it needs to do. I just feel like for the 2 hours, nearly 3 hours of this film, it could have been condensed quite a bit, and there was a lot of unnecessary stuff in there. That's obviously my opinion. I thought there was a lot of downtime, that it took a long time to get into what it needed to get into. Obviously, they probably needed to change what they were going to do in respect of the original Black Panther passing away in real life. But this film was just sort of, for me, it just sort of exists. And it wasn't entertaining at all. There was a couple of bits in fight scenes where I was like, yeah, you know, really, really good, quite epic and all that kind of stuff, which was fantastic. But that does not a good film make. And yeah, I'm probably going to be in the minority on this one, but I just didn't enjoy it. It was oversaturated. It was too long, and it was just, it just didn't work. It just didn't work. It was overlong and boring and slow paced, and that's not what you want from a comic book movie. When you look back at other movies, other really good comic book movies, they don't go half as long as Wakanda Forever. And I get it, they had to really start again. I like the inclusion of the enemy as it was to provide that, but yeah, there was something that didn't quite hit the mark for me. This film didn't hit the mark at all, and I think at this point we're oversaturated with comic book movies. This must be like what, 4th, 5th, 6th comic book movie this year. Most of them have been Marvel, with one notable difference being the Batman, obviously, coming from DC. I don't have much else to say about this film, except it was overlong and boring. It's not a bad film. It's just, too long, basically. When your butt starts getting sore from sitting in a seat for so long, I think this is probably the first movie that I've had to nip out to stretch my legs since I've had my cinema card, and I've had it for nearly 3 years. Give you an idea. So by all means, go and support it in the cinema. Go and support the cinema. But another thing I don't really like about Marvel films at this point in time is that when they get released, they just oversaturate it in all the cinema screens and they don't show anything else. Now, I've seen some really good films that have been delayed for the release of so-called big films. And even when I went to the cinema yesterday, this film was probably showing on at least 5 of the 10 screens that were there. Why? Just why? Obviously, one of those screens is 3D, another one is their version of IMAX. But then there's 3 other screens that are showing the same film because it was being played every half an hour. Yeah, overexposed is my opinion on Marvel films. And for this one, it was perfectly fine. It didn't really do much wrong. It's just, for me, it's too much now. It's way too much. I wanted to enjoy it, and I did in parts, but I guess it's just not my thing anymore. However, I will keep going to the cinema. I will search out the hidden gems that pass people by quite often because they're watching these oversaturated films, and I will keep doing my movie reviews because I love doing it. So yeah, there you go. Go watch it, form your own opinion, and let me know what you thought. This is Cheap Shot Entertainment. This has been Cheap Shot Reviews. I've been your host Luke, and you are the Cheap Shot Nation. I will see you next time. Goodbye.
Hiya.